Yo, it's your boy Sam with Vertical Expressions, and welcome to another Bible breakdown Bible study. Now, stop me if you heard this one. Stop me if you ever heard someone pray, yourself included. Stop me if you ever heard someone say, God, what is my purpose? God, what should I do? God, where do you want to use me? God, what do you want to do with me? God, God, what is it, God? I'm not going to waste your time today. We're going to go straight into it. It's John 15 verses 12 to 13. They go like this. My command is this. Love each other as I have loved you. Greater love has no one than this, to lay down one's life for one's friend. Now I'm going to call this Bible study No Love in Church. And I'm going to call it No Love in Church because I feel like the Christian community has completely missed out on its number one calling. And follow me now, because it's something about this world. It's something about the way the world has pushed success out into this world that has a lot of people, Christians included. And if you don't think you're a Christian, then Jesus believers, Jesus followers included, has a lot of people thinking that success, it's not successful unless you're doing it at this large scale. Like, it's not success unless you're doing it like to this level. Like, if you do it right here, that's not success, but if you do it up here, then that's success. Now, the issue that I'm having is that, you see, earlier this week, I dropped a video on Carl Lentz, that whole situation. A lot of people didn't really like what I had to say because apparently I shouldn't be as forgiving, or I shouldn't be as graceful, I shouldn't be as Christ-like in my own opinion as I was in my position that I'm taking with that. My response to that just happens to coincide with this Bible study, which is, if you're looking for purpose, if you're looking for direction, if you're asking God what the point is in all of this, like why He created you, why He saved you, look no further than John 15 verses 12 and 13. My command is this, love each other as I have loved you. That's His command. Greater love has no one than this, than to lay down one's life for one's friends. Now, why I think there's no love in church is because everybody's so caught up in fulfilling purpose on this global scale, or on this, I don't even want to say on a global scale. A lot of people are caught up in doing ministry and finding purpose in ministry, in preaching, in talking, in playing things, in singing things, in dancing, and this and that. And everybody's forgetting about just love. If you really want to walk in your purpose, if you really want to fulfill your purpose in God, let me tell you this. If you're asking God what your purpose is, what your mission is, what you should be doing as a Christian, you're feeling like there's not much for you to do, well, I would suggest that you just start to love the people around you. Start to love your family. Start to love your friends. And let me tell you, I'm not talking about just calling them up and just loving like, oh, you family, I love you. No, I'm not talking about that kind of love. I'm talking about the type of love that takes work. I'm talking about loving someone through correction. I'm talking about loving someone in being there even when it's annoying and inconvenient for you to be there. I'm talking about loving someone enough to tell them no. Like, just being able to put somebody else in front of you. But more often than not, we want to fulfill purpose. We want to do great things. But we lose sight of this command, and we lose sight of how big and how impactful and how purposeful and how great it is to be able to put somebody else's life before you. The word says, greater love has no one than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends. That means, listen, that means every time you want to say no, and you know, whether it's hubby, wifey, mom, dad, sister, sibling, friend, cousin, whatever it is, whenever they're annoying you and you just feel like, oh man, I don't even want to deal with you, listen. Greater love. There's no greater love than you just telling yourself no for the sake of telling them yes, and that's big. That's crazy, because the minute you decide to accept this as purpose, and you decide to accept this as calling, it changes the way that you allow yourself to go about life, because you no longer have an excuse. You no longer have an excuse to continue to do nothing every day. Continue to beg God for purpose and beg God for calling and beg God for anointing when you don't even take the time to love, truly love the people around you. Really, I just don't want you guys to miss out on the calling that God has already given you, on the purpose that God has already given you. God has already placed people in your life that you are singularly in charge of impacting and influencing. And if you're wasting your time asking God for purpose and direction, then I'm here to tell you, love your friends, love your family, lay down your life for them, and I guarantee you that God is going to take that as so much more than you finding the purpose you think you might need. I saw that logo gonna try to play me like that. Listen, it's your boy Sam with Vertical Expressions. Please bless that like button, comment, subscribe, do what you gotta do. Share this with somebody who you know is looking for purpose. They need to hear this. And I want to call out and reach out to the Christian community and say, hey, right now, I understand it's a struggle. I understand it's tough. I understand it's controversial. But this whole Carl Lentz thing, let's not overlook the opportunity to love. Let's not overlook the opportunity to pray for a family. It's not just about one person. Think about the family. Pray for a family that is in desperate need in a season like this, because it's much harder. It's much harder than it looks, especially when your whole life and your whole situation, your drama, your personal situation is just plastered all over the media. And I get it. You know, he may have looked for the fame, but you know what? His children didn't. So let's be mindful and let's practice love. It has been real, y'all. Peace.